I can assure you that 95% of students will fill this question on the board. However, the question on the board is very simple. Once you can follow the right approach and print symbols, but we are going to do this together. But before I start, I would love to ask you just a simple question. How many results are we going to obtain when solving this question on the board? What will be the value of t? Because we are required to find t. Okay, if you know the answer, put it in the comment section. Let me wait for you. Have you done that? Now, this is very simple. In the question, we have t raised to the power of 2 minus t raised to the power of 3, which is equal to 12. How do we know the number of t values that we obtain? Since the maximum power of t in this equation is 3, that means we are going to obtain 3 answers. So I am going to obtain just one result, and I will show you how to get the other 2. You drop the answer in the comment section at the end of this video. Let's get started. Solution. And when this type of question is given to you, or when you come across this type of problem, the first thing you have to do is to move every other term down to this side of the equation and equate it to 0. So we are going to obtain t raised to the power of 2 minus t raised to the power of 3. When 12 crosses over, we have minus 12, which is equal to 0. Looking at what you have on the board right here, we have a letter raised to the power of 2, another letter raised to the power of 3. Over here we have a number alone, just a number. Now, since we are having 2 letters and 1 number, we are going to split this number into 2 places. T raised to the power of 2 minus t raised to the power of 3 minus 12 is the same as 4 plus 8, which is equal to 0. That is the first approach. Again, since we are having t raised to the power of 2 and t raised to the power of 3 respectively from the letters, we can also put this into the exponential form. Because t raised to the power of 2 and t raised to the power of 3 are written in the exponential form, we can change these numbers or this constant term into the exponential form. How do we do that? We have here t is raised to the power of 2 minus t raised to the power of 3 minus 4 can be written in its exponential form as 2 raised to the power of 2 plus, and 8 can be written as 2 raised to the power of 3. 2 raised to the power of 3. This is equal to 0. Let's remove the bracket. We have t raised to the power of 2 minus t raised to the power of 3 minus times this gives minus 2 raised to the power of 2 minus times this gives minus 2 raised to the power of 3. This is equal to 0. At this juncture, we observed that t raised to the power of 2 and 2 raised to the power of 2 has the same index, 2 or power. While this person and this person also have the same power, 3 and 3. So we are going to pair by bringing them together. I'll bring this person and this person together in the same bracket. Also do the same to these 2. Take note of this. So we are going to obtain t raised to the power of 2 minus 2 raised to the power of 2. Then minus t raised to the power of 3 minus t raised to the power of 3, then plus 2 raised to the power of 3. Now take note of this. If you multiply minus by t raised to the power of 3, you have minus t raised to the power of 3. Again, if you multiply minus with 2 raised to the power of 3, we obtain minus 2 raised to the power of 3. Take note of the sign. Now we can only achieve the right result when we follow the right principles or approach. At this point, we are having t raised to the power of 2 minus 2 raised to the power of 2 in this bracket. While in this bracket, we are obtaining t raised to the power of 3 plus 2 raised to the power of 3. This is what we call an identity in mathematics. Let me remind you of the identity. This is difference in 2 squared. For example, if we have a raised to the power of 2 minus b raised to the power of 2, the identity states that it will given us a plus b and a minus b. That is the identity. Again, if you are considering the next bracket, the identity to this bracket is that a raised to the power of 3 plus b raised to the power of 3. We can express this as bracket open a plus b bracket close, bracket open a squared minus ab plus b squared. So here are the right identities that must be used to solve this question from this point. So if you are comparing the letters with what we have on the board, A is the first letter and B is the second. A is the first and B is the second. So we can substitute the identities from this point if we are considering the first bracket, which is this. So we are literally talking about this identity on the board. And the identity is A plus B and A minus B. Minus, considering the second, which is this, so we have A plus B and A squared minus AB plus B squared. That is the identity. But knowing that T is A and 2 is B, in both parentheses, we can substitute, isn't it? So that means we are going to obtain, we have A is T, so T plus 2 and T minus 2 minus, over here we have T plus B plus 2 rather. Then bracket open again. A is T, so T squared minus A is T and B is 2. So that is 2 times T, which gives minus 2T plus, over here B is 2 and 2 raised to the power of 2 gives 4. This is equal to 0. Let's factor out T plus 2, T plus 2. So we have in bracket T plus 2, bracket close. If you factorize, you are going to have in bracket T minus 2, bracket close, minus T squared minus 2T and plus 4, which equal to 0. Let's open the big bracket. We have T plus 2 plus 2. The big bracket is this. So that is, we are going to obtain T minus 2, minus sign will affect this, and it will change to minus T squared, minus times this, gives plus 2t. Minus times 4 gives minus 4. This is equal to 0. T plus 2 in bracket t minus 2 minus t squared plus 2t minus 4 is equal to 0. Let's collect like terms from the second bracket. So we have t plus 2 in the first bracket, while in the second bracket we have t minus 2 minus t raised to the power of 2 plus 2t minus 4 is equal to 0. Because the highest power of t is 2, let's start with it. So minus t squared. Next is this 2, t and 2t. 1t plus 2t gives plus 3t. Again, we are left with the constant term. Minus 2 minus 4 is equal to minus 6. This is equal to 0. At this juncture, we have this equal to 0. What should we do? Do this. Equate this bracket to 0. Also equate the second bracket to 0. If I am equating this person to 0, it will look like this. T minus plus 2 is equal to 0. Or from the second bracket, minus t squared plus 3t minus 6 will also equal to 0. We can make t the subject of the formula from this point. If I make t the subject, then t plus 2 equal to 0 will become t is equal to minus 2. So t is minus 2. That is the first value of t from this equation on the board. I stated earlier that we are going to obtain 3 results or 3 values of t. And the first value, which is t1, let me call this my t1, is equal to minus 2. So now we are going to obtain, remember the statement result, and I will show you how to get the other 2. You drop the answer in the comment section at the end of this video. So I stated earlier that I will teach you how to get the value of t in 1. Then you look for the other 2 t's on the board. So my t1 is this. You find t2 and t3. Let me show you how to do this as it was stated. To find the value of t2, we can use the completing the square method or the almighty formula to solve this quadratically. But if you don't know how to solve this using those 2 methods that I just stated, we have already treated this in our previous tutorials. So the video will be at the end of this video. Just click, go back to the equation and watch how to solve the quadratic equation using completing the square method and almighty formula. Drop the answer in the comment section. Let me know that you have solved it.